It's week 10. So by that logic, it's workshop 10. I think. I don't really know. And at this point, I don't particularly care, because we're doing a workshop anyways. By show of hands, how many people actually know what Twine is before I get into it?
Using it for a final project, right?
Nice. Nice. Well, for reference for what Twine is, you ever seen like a flow chart? How it goes from one box to the next box to the next box? Yeah. Imagine a game engine that just is that. And then you can play each of those text boxes. It's really simple. It's really nice and simple to use. But this is why I enjoy using it. Somewhere I have a reference of where my Twine game is, but I don't know where it went. It's somewhere buried in the UCI Discord. If I have time after this, I will show it. But today I'm going to give a very brief overview of what Twine is. I say brief because the Harlowe documentation, Harlowe is the programming language that you use to program in Twine. It's also super dead easy. It's surprisingly complex. It's one of those tools where it's easy to get into, but hard to master. But once you master it, you can make some really weird stuff. Yeah. So, Twine, maybe. So, these are the basic commands that you can use in Twine. Literally, like 95% of the things you'll ever need to do in Twine are just going to be like these three tools. Riley, he was our VGDC president for 2019 to 2020. No, that's Chase. Jen, when was Riley president?
Gosh, that's a good question. It was my sophomore year, which was,
ago.
when did you start college? Because it was your freshman year.
It was my freshman
probably.
year, so that was 2019 to 2020.
Yeah, it was that.
Okay. So he was president for a year. Before he was that, he was the writing director before the age of Megan, also known as the Dark Age. Anyways, so the first thing you need to know is doing double square brackets. If you do double square brackets, it creates a new page. So that text will appear as it is in the brackets. So, yeah, that's literally pretty simple. Literally, you would just do square brackets, arrow, square brackets to indicate that you're trying to go from this block to the next block. And that will automatically create the new block for you if it doesn't already exist. It goes by the name of the block. And then it'll automatically like link an arrow to it so you don't have to fudge around with it. What's also nice is that because Twine is very GUI based, you can move around the positioning of arrows and it'll automatically update the code for you. So if I'm going from block A to B and I actually want it to be from A to C, I don't even have to fudge around with the code. I can just move the arrow and the program will update itself. It's very adaptive like that. Alright. Set variables. Yeah. Twine has variables, which is really useful. You use parentheses for it. Set, colon, and then, ooh, it's not good.
Jen. Is it?
Okay. Thank you. And then $sign. I forget what programming languages it is that also uses $sign. I think Java?
No.
Does Java use $signs?
No.
C#?
No.
No.
Lua? No.
I don't know. Ruby on Rails. Let's go with that. The number ones can increment. Yeah, so if you've ever done like
JavaScript.
Huh?
JavaScript.
It is JavaScript. I was right. Dang it. Okay.
Well, no? I don't know. Like you
Yeah. What's nice is that if you've ever programmed in like literally any programming languages and you can increment stuff, you can increment stuff in Twine too, which is really useful. You can use variables for literally like anything and everything. You can use it for booleans to check for parameter checks. You can use it to keep track of like how many dogs the player has petted, or literally you can keep so many things, and they're global. So if you have a variable that was set in the first act of your game, you can reference it in the very last act because it's all just one gigantic flowchart in Twine, which is really useful because you don't have to fudge around with scenes. You can, but God, why would you? It's Twine. It's nice and simple. And then, what's nice is that we have if-else statements in Twine. What a concept in a flow chart of a game. So, again, very simple documentation, or very simple syntax. It's just, if variable is thing, text that will show up. It's pretty simple. You can do this if you want to have, like, options to go to different routes, but lock it behind, like, a parameter. Like, for my Twine game, I had it to where you get the option to kill someone, but only if you picked up a stun gun. So it checked if the stun gun was true, it was a Boolean variable, and then it would give you the option. So you can not only just lock up text, you can lock up entire routes using just very simple syntax. And really, that's all you need. You can do stuff like change the color of the text. I think you can add audio in Twine. I think they finally patched that in. If you click on this link, you can actually get the entire Harlowe documentation. Like I said, Harlowe is what is the full programming language of Twine. It is very extensive. Like, it has examples, like right here, they're even able to set the font of the text. Like, there's a lot you can do with Twine, as long as you're just willing to look up stuff. So, yeah, one of the coolest things that they have is macros. With macros, you can do some real screwy stuff. For Riley's Twine games, so, like I said, Riley, he was really into Twine, and one of the things that he made as like a demo was that it was just like a basic like survival game in Twine, and then on like the last day of 7 days, like a creature came to kill you or whatever. And what was really cool is that he was able to add like jittering text that he saved as a macro. Dane is, oh no wait, that's not Dane, that's Jen. Jen says that you can add audio and images, but recommend to use something else if you're looking for a lot of, yeah, like again, Twine is meant to be like the writer's guide to Unity, sort of. Like, this is writer's Unity. If you want super in-depth like audio visual stuff, then you would just want to go like Unity, because this is meant to be more like interactive novel type stuff. Also, you can use HTML with how the text is formatted. Yeah, so if you know HTML, you can apply it to Twine, which is really useful. So there's literally like so many things. Like, yeah, here's that entire section about how to use like HTML markup if you're familiar with that. They have full documentation for all of this stuff. They have different types of lists. You can do bulleted lists, numbered lists. You can do weird stuff with the white space. Look at all the different built-in macros that they have. Like, god dang. That is cool. Yeah. Enchant is a fun one that we have in, yeah. So, enchant bold text color, you go, yeah. So you can enchant text to have like certain like effects around them. Like whenever the word like gold is popped up, you can make it like shiny and pretty gold and like bold, and if you get really in depth, you can even start like making it like shake. Like you know how in Undertale, whenever there's like really grave text going on screen and it's all like jittery? Yeah, you can enchant it to make it jittery, which is just kind of cool. Yep, border color, corner radius, HSL, RGB. Yeah. There's literally, I could go on for a long time just covering all the stuff in this, but oh, if you're also doing advanced mathematics in your Twine game, why are you doing advanced mathematics in your Twine game? But if for some godforsaken reason you are, we have a bunch of built-in macros for that. But also, why? If you're not into the whole double bracket, arrow, double bracket methodology, you can also just use stuff like goto. So instead of like doing that method, another syntax you can do is goto, colon, and then the name of the text box. Because each box in Twine has a title for the text box, and then like the actual content of it. So, and what's nice with goto, especially if you're if you don't want to make like a bunch of if-else statements, you can instead just use goto either, which is kind of useful. Yeah, goto is also helpful if you want to set variables when you click it. Yes, Jen makes very good points. If you're doing a lot of like on-click variable manipulation, which it's a little bit advanced, but it can be super useful. Goto is probably what you want to go with. Unity text components can also use HTML text. Oh, thank you, Dane. If you didn't know that about Unity, Unity can use HTML tags with their text. You thought this is a Twine workshop. Maybe not, man, this is Unity. CLP, pop-up, say, oh, this is cool. So, in a lot of like Twine knockoffs, you can't really like save the state of your game, which is kind of annoying. But with this, you can actually save games and it saves it locally. So if you actually want to like have people like log off, because usually you can like export your Twine game as like an HTML file. You can actually have people like close out of the tab and it'll just remember it. I believe it goes based off your cookies, but I don't know that for a fact. Yeah. So that's just really cool, and something I've never seen in any other sort of like text-based game engine is that you can actually load and save games, which is useful. I use that a lot for checkpoints in my game. You can have like a basic GUI for when the game is actually being displayed. They have storylets. Storylets are... Yeah, storylets are many stories within a story. This is like the complex side of Twine that I was talking about. Storylets, if you want to look into that, you can look into it, but Then they have a million different things that you can do to mess up the style instead of just making it plain white text on black screen. They have special transitions between the blocks, so if you don't want it to just be like a fade out, fade in, you can do that. You can animate text on your screen. You can do special keywords, and then these are all the different types of data that they have built in. There's a lot. There's a lot that you can do with Twine. And I believe Twine 2 is a thing, is it not?
Is Twine 2 the one in use right now?
Oh, okay. Yeah, Jen seems to be confirming that it should be cookies that allows it to load and save. So that's why I can't really play a Twine game in the incognito browser. So, oh. When Dane gets here, he's on the bus right now. He's going to explain why coding a save system is really annoying. And I agree. I just like got some like open source like save system from GitHub online and used that because God, saving systems are some of the most annoying thing to have to code by hand. So that's why I'm really glad that Harlowe just has built-in save game systems. And alright, so besides that, that's really about it. The activity for this workshop really is just to like start fudging around with Twine and see what you can make. You don't have to make anything super advanced. Just get a feel for the documentation, some syntax it does, some of the like enchanting, etc. It goes in depth or non depth as you want to. This is just supposed to be like sandbox time. And then when Dane gets here, he's going to rant about coding save systems. Well, yeah. Any questions? Good. Alright. I will stop streaming right now. I'm going to get the zoom up. I have been signed out. Who signed me out? But...
When are we going to stay here till?
What?
When are we going to stay here till?
Stay here too? Technically the workshop is until 4. So if you did want to run home and get your stuff, you can.